I'd like to share a little bit about my story. I accepted Christ in my freshman year in high school. I knew who Christ was when I first started talking and learning about Christ in middle school. I went to a Youth for Christ in Bluffton. And then I accepted Christ my freshman year in high school. Throughout middle school and high school, it was really tough. I was bullied severely, and it was really bad. Bullies broke me mentally and physically. And throughout high school, lockers were my worst enemy. And it wasn't because I didn't remember the locker combination. It was because I was pushed into them every single day and just slammed to the floor every single day. And I had the one incident that happened on school grounds. I got a blacktop thrown at me. It hit me in the head. It was actually inches from a temple. And the doctor said I was lucky because I could have died from that injury. I had a concussion from it, and I actually have a speech impediment because of that injury. But that was not the only thing that happened to me in high school. My sophomore year, I was at an event. I was running. I got tripped by a kid because he wouldn't take my spot on the basketball team, and so I couldn't play my that year in high school because I actually fractured my right arm because of that fall. And the next year after that, my junior year, I had knee surgery, basic scope surgery. Doctor said you should be fine, and you shouldn't have any issues. I had complications from that surgery where my knees swelled up so badly, the doctors thought I was going to lose my right leg to a very bad rare infection I had in my right knee. So I had, normally on them kind of surgery, you're on crutches for a couple days. I was on crutches for 6 to 7 months, and I had to relearn how to walk on my right leg. And it was hard in high school because I was walking around on crutches. I was actually pushed down a couple times when I was on crutches because some of the kids at my school didn't care. And so my junior year, I had felt like God calling me to ministry. So I wanted to be a youth pastor because I, grew up in Youth for Christ, middle school, high school. And I was like, this is, awesome. And so my senior year, I applied to this college. They accepted me. I was in learning disability classes throughout high school, middle school, and elementary. And this college knew I had these issues in learning disability classes. So they accepted me, and they said, oh, you should be fine. You should be able to succeed here. In a month into going to college there, they told me to go to the dean's office, and they said, we don't think you succeed here. I was failing in all my classes from this college. They thought, they would be able to help me and everything. So they told me I had to leave. One of my friends' brothers went there to the college, and he brought me home. That night, I felt so worthless, and I was like, I'm not going to succeed, in life, because I've seen all my friends going to college, and I was going back home. That night, I wanted to commit suicide, and I said to God, I had these painkillers in my hand. I'm like, God, please, tell, anyone, because I had my cell phone right next to me. I'm like, please tell anyone, if you want to save me from, committing suicide, just bring someone life. When I was about to do it, I called somebody and, tell them I'm going to commit suicide. And one ring, they actually answered the phone and talked me out of committing suicide. So I decided to start this ministry in 2013. And it was just, I've been doing it since. And Amanda, she's joined the ministry here this last year. And she has an amazing testimony, and I'd like her to share her testimony.
Well, I may only be 29, but I'm much older than that. I've been a victim, an addict, an alcoholic, a musician, a soldier, a nurse's aide, a patient, and truly a born-again Christian. This is how it all begins. I moved a lot as a kid. My dad was a manager of a Walmart. They used to not tell them when they were going to move them, so I've been to a gajillion different schools. At age 13, I was in my 5th school. 5th. And that's not including preschool. I've been heavily bullied throughout my years. I had everything stolen from me, slammed into lockers like him. And as an adult, it led me to alcoholism, drug abuse. I had a couple suicide attempts too. And there's so many times that I woke up in the ER due to overdosing, malnutrition, drunkenness, passing out somewhere. I've had a lot of things, awful things happen to me as a child. And I've survived those years because God loves me. His hand was on my shoulder. The scars on my body represent proof of God healing me in so many ways. It's a scrapbook. And then in 2018, it was June 1st, 2018, I, in the middle of the night, fell down 15 wooden stairs and landed face first on the concrete basement floor. It basically shattered the frontal portion of my skull and my eye sockets, and it threw me into a deep 3-month coma that I had less than a 10% chance of waking up from. Basically, everything crazy and traumatic in 2018 to 2019 happened in threes. So I was in a 3-month coma. I have had 3 craniotomies. And the craziest part, I died 3 times. The second time for over 5 minutes. They're about to unplug me, but God sent me back. And how many days was Jesus dead? Yeah, 3. So I've baffled every medical doctor and specialist that has ever tried to be on my case. And I just kept smiling through it all, and they had me psychologically evaluated and analyzed over and over and over and over again. And I guess they finally realized and accepted that I don't dwell on the negativity. I don't get sad, I don't get mad. Some of us, a rather small population, don't let the hard things win. God changed me so incredibly much since I woke up. I'm a literal and thoroughly born-again Christian. And these are the 3 verses for our ministry. Matthew 11:28-30. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Deuteronomy 31:8. The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you or forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. In Matthew 7:7-8. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives. The one who seeks finds. And the one who knocks, the door will be opened. No matter where you are in life, you are never alone. He is always there to confide in. He will never leave your side. He will be with you always, with his hand on your shoulder, guiding you to the path of righteousness. There is nothing that he can't forgive you for. You'll never be tossed out from his presence. When times seems to be too overwhelming, he will always be the one to pull you through, regardless of where you are and what you've been through.
And it doesn't matter what you've done, a year ago, last week, a month ago.
Or even yesterday.
Yeah, even yesterday. It doesn't matter what you've done. Christ loves you no matter what. If you've gone through stuff or done something, it doesn't matter. He loves you no matter what. And
each day here on earth is a blessing. You're
Yeah.
never promised that you'll wake up tomorrow. So as for me, I didn't know if I was going to wake up tomorrow because I had so much wrong with me medically. So every day I had to live as if it was my last day. So literally you're not promised a tomorrow. And so live each day as if it was your last. Just one day live it like that. And you'll find so much more in your life. You'll be thankful for so much more.
And, I want to tell you one last thing. And your life is not a mistake. Your life is not an accident. The second you woke up this morning, God is not finished with you yet. And He loves you unconditionally. If you need someone to talk to, anyone on the stage, will talk to you. If you're dealing with something, we're here for you and we love you. And we'll be at our table, right after we're done. After the concert, you can come to talk to us. You can talk to any of the artists, and we'll be, there to talk to you and pray for you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.